So Jeff Haines and Jerry Matthews were nominated by the very highest authority, and that nomination came from our president, Harvey Kesselman. He also put in a very subtle request that we waive the 3-year waiting period we have for coaches before they get inducted. And of course, we agreed with that request. And it wasn't because the committee's too chicken to tell Harvey no. Although I don't know who really wants to be the person that's going to tell Harvey no. It was because, obviously, naturally, Haines and Matthews are a perfect fit for the Hall of Fame. And not long after that moment, I knew that due to Jerry and Jeff's unique friendship, that it was going to be natural to have them introduce each other. And that's for the sheer potential entertainment value of that situation happening. So if you want to know what it's like spending a lot of time with Jeff and Jerry, I mean, I imagine it would be very similar to being in a very small room with Henny Youngman and Don Rickles. There's an endless supply of one-liners, insults, and they have a never-ending desire to take digs at each other whenever possible. So I don't know how it's going to go tonight. I don't know if they're going to focus on the mutual respect they have for each other as coaches, or if they're going to take the opportunity to get some public insults into each other. So again, I don't know, but we are about to find out, and I would like to bring up our former head basketball coach, Jerry Matthews, for the introduction of Jeff Haines.
You know, some people say Dr. Kesselman has a crystal ball in his office. And when he waived the 3-year rule for Jeff and I to be admitted, he really had in mind my age. He was worried I'd still be here 3 years later. And what he couldn't figure out was that Jeff was going to end up in double bypass surgery back in the middle of April. So thank God they got the two of us here before anything happens. And I'm going to be very nice that a lot of the things that were said in our office, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, that's about our office, because there weren't too many sacred things that weren't ripped up over the 15 years we were in the same office together. But I got here in 85, 86, and during the first 7 or 8 years I was here, men's basketball was really the only sport that was winning on a regular basis. And we would have our dinner each year, and I started to say each year, there's no reason why we can't win in the other sports as well. That we just have to get the right people here with the right work ethics, and Stockton can become well-respected and a winner in all our sports. Well, and when I say a winner, I don't mean, you know, a 1-year wonder or a 2-year wonder. Something for the long run that is going to make everybody know that Stockton is good in sports. Well, the answer to that was we brought in Jeff Haines. And all of a sudden, the soccer program became very well known throughout the Division III country. First year, Jeff, 1998, they make the NCAA Sweet 16. In 1999, they go to the Division III Final Four. In 2001, they win the NCAA National Championship. And let's say, obviously, that's the goal of all of the coaches. And we came close, but he's the only one who nailed that sucker down. And believe me, he told me it every goddamn day. If you had only scored 7 more points, you'd be able to say it too. But with that, he became the 2001 National Soccer Coaches Association National Coach of the Year. In 2002, he was the Philadelphia Sports Writers honoree. In 2002, they went back to the second round of the NCAA. In 2004, they went back to the Elite Eight in the NCAA. In 2010, they went through the first round of the NCAA. His 2001 team won 25 games. No team in soccer, Division I, II, or III, has ever won 25 games except for our team in 2001. Won 4 NJAC championships. And let me say this, sometimes winning an NJAC championship is harder to do than winning a few games in the NCAA tournament. He was a 2-time National Soccer Coach, Regional Coach of the Year. He was a 2-time NJAC Coach of the Year. His teams played in the ECAC tournament and were regional champs 3 times. He had a career record of 4-3 against the number 1 and 2 ranked teams in the country. His NCAA record was 13-6. He was the head coach for 17 years, never had a losing season. He was 262 wins, 99 losses, and 34 ties. He kissed his sister 34 times. He is a member of the Pittman High School Hall of Fame, if anybody really knows where Pittman is. He's a member of the Gloucester County Sports Hall of Fame. He's a member of the South Jersey Soccer Hall of Fame. And as his career wound down when he moved to taking a position in athletics, maybe as an appropriate ending, in 2015, he was the National Interscholastic Soccer Officials Association Referee Coach of the Year Award, and only one of those is given to a soccer coach in the country on any level. So let's do this. Let's bring up Jeff Haines.
Thank you, Jar. I'm going to be kind as well. I first like to thank President Kesselman for nominating, changing the protocol guidelines, and voting both Jerry and I into the Hall of Fame. We both agree his vote is the only one that really counts here anyway. However, I would still like to thank John Heck, the Hall of Fame committee, for providing us with such a great event every year. It's truly a great event here at Stockton University. If it wasn't for John Heck's persistence and dedication, we still might not have a Stockton University Sports Hall of Fame today. I want to congratulate this year's inductees, former inductees, and it's an honor to be associated with such an outstanding group of athletes, coaches, and contributors. I will say this, Santini blames it on you. If you would have scored a few more baskets, he'd have a ring. Because Jerome was his favorite, so Jerome missed some shots too. I was there. It was much easier to give a speech about the 2001 Men's Soccer National Championship team than the one tonight. It was fun to talk about the season, the players, the staff who were instrumental in us winning Stockton's first national championship. I'll try and do much of the same tonight. I want to thank my mom and dad for their support, emotionally, financially, all throughout my playing and coaching years. Thanks for going to all my games as a player and most of them as a coach. I think my mom finally figured out not to talk to me after a loss in year 10 or so. But I want to thank her because she cares a lot. I want to thank my wife, Chrissy, my two girls, Abby and Emmy, for putting up with my recruiting games, my games here, preseason camp, practices, fundraising events, etc. Chris, she always had to carry the load in order for me to continue pursuing this career. Remember, when I first met you, I said you don't have to like the game of soccer. You just have to realize how important it is to me. I also want to thank you for taking special care of me this spring and summer during my long recovery. As you know, I couldn't have made it without you. I want to thank my mother-in-law, Sharon, for being here tonight and driving all the way from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I want to thank all my aunts and uncles and cousins who are here supporting me. I appreciate you guys being here tonight and coming to a lot of my games throughout my career as a player and as a coach. I also have a lot of friends here in attendance, including friends of 45-plus years, all of our unbelievable neighbors who are fortunate enough to call our friends, and our Shotterbrook family, longtime friends Scott and Freddie, former assistant coaches Greg Rutler, Jeff Moore, Joe Eimer, Donnie Norton, student assistant Nick Gaccio, who was the worst student assistant I ever had. He's here. Day one, the first day, he lost all my keys somewhere out there in the observatory fields. Jeff Moore and Joey Eimer, and I said Nick Gaccio. Other assistants who aren't here tonight, Donnie Norton, Jimmy Connor, Sean McHugh, and student assistants Scott Wickham, Rudy Mazoka, and Chris Weiner. We also have several members of the national championship here tonight, including all three that scored the goals in the national championship game: Greg Rutler, John Epley, and Mike McLaren. I want to thank Scotty Chappelle for being the most loyal alumnus we have here at Stockton. He's here tonight, and he played under Tim Lenihan. I appreciate him being here for the program and for me. There's so many people here at Stockton that I'd like to thank. I will certainly leave someone out, so I apologize in advance. I first want to thank Tim Lenihan, the former coach here at Stockton and the current coach at Northwestern University. Tim contacted me when I was at the college in New Jersey as an assistant coach with Rick Dell and under Kevin McHugh's guidance, and convinced me to leave TCNJ, then Trenton State College, for Stockton. We almost became best friends immediately, and we were the perfect match here at Stockton. We beat Rowan for the first time ever in school history in 1999, and we captured the program's first conference championship in 1996. I'm still proud to be a part of those first in our program's history. Thanks, Tim, for everything. I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't accomplish anything without your leadership, advice, and wisdom. When Tim left Lafayette in 1998, or left for Lafayette in 1998, it was Larry James who took a chance on a rookie coach to take over the program. Larry, thank you for trusting me to lead the Osprey soccer team and your advice in making it to the top of an athletic career. I want to thank everyone in athletics, Lonnie Folks, for everything you've done for the program, John Heck, Sue Newcomb, Sue Malazzo, Carol LeBeau, Tony Petrilli, all of our athletic secretaries, Paul Chambers, all of our full and part-time trainers and student athletic trainers, the game day operations staff, Dave Amarillo, and all of the student workers, Jim Gwathney, Val Julian, all the coaches and staff in athletics, which allowed me to concentrate on coaching, recruiting, and winning games. Again, I want to thank President Kesselman for meeting me back in 1999 to discuss the development of full-time coaches. I appreciate your time and dedication and support to athletics and support of men's soccer, and to me personally over the years. That got athletics going, for making full-time coaches here, and I don't think we'd be here today without that. I also want to thank you for for you sending me the get well cards while I was out during my recovery. And just so everybody knows, Dr. Kesselman's card was the first one I received after my surgery, and it was waiting there for me when I got out of ICU. I'd like to thank Sal Catafamo, Allison Henry for hiring me in admissions as Assistant Director of Admissions in 1997. Sal said that by working in admissions, I would learn so much about the school's academic programs and the inner workings of higher education, and that all this will be something that I will be able to use during my recruitment process. He was definitely right. Thanks to Allison Henry, who was an awesome supervisor and friend to me from day one and still today. Thanks to Mel Gregory, Steve Phillips, Heather Medina, and the entire staff of admissions for their support and friendship over the years. Mel, we've had some great times together, and when you retire, both Jerry and I will miss you immensely. I want to thank Dr. Ferris, who always made me feel that I was important, even though I knew I wasn't. I want to thank Dr. Greitz, Dr. Jan Colleen, Dr. Tomasa Gonzalez, Dr. Eileen Conran Folks, Dr. Joe Marchetti, Joe Losasso, Dr. Dick Thomas, Will Janes, Stephen Davis, Craig Stanball, Pedro Santana, Dr. Joe Rubenstein, Chris Crowley, Pam Cross, Betsy Mache, everyone in financial aid, EOF, housing, plant operations, Joe Mangello, former deputy chief of police. He did write Jerry Matthews a ticket at least once during his career here. I want to thank Dave Wood and Dave Rush for all the grounds work that they've done for our soccer field. Also want to thank Lonnie and Eileen for visiting me in the hospital this past spring. John and Jerry for visiting me back home. Everyone's texts, phone calls, emails, cards, etc. during my medical leave. It really meant a lot. I also want to thank our new Executive Director of Athletics, Kevin McHugh, who called and texted me while he was still employed and working at Bates. Thanks, Kevin. It meant a lot. I want to thank Ron Case, the retired longtime athletic director at Gloucester County College, now the Rowan College at Gloucester County. Ron gave me my first start in college athletics in 1990, and his knowledge of building of an athletic team and a program has been instrumental in my success. Thanks for all the lunches, dinners, Eagles games, and beers, etc. I appreciate it. When I started my head coaching career, I felt I was more than ready for the opportunity at Stockton. I played 4 years in college. I was assistant for 7, and I felt that I had a formula that could work. I took pieces and ideas from all of the coaches that I had as a player and all the coaches I worked for. Teammates, student athletes, and athletic directors, and even officials I gained knowledge from. By coupling all those together, I was able to develop my own philosophy on a winning collegiate program. These are my 11 points that we lived by, and all of my players can attest to these 11. Number 1, it's not my program, it's our program. Number 2, never ever say to a player that you have to win this game for me, score a goal for me, or you guys lost this game for me. It's not about me. Recruit tough, fit, competitive, hardworking, coachable players with emotion. Most of the time, your best players have the most emotion. Whether it's good emotion or bad emotion, you have to have emotion with your athletic team. Be honest with every player and recruit no matter if it hurts us during the recruiting process. Promise them that I'll be there for them on and off the field and in the classroom. Nothing else. And then stick to it. Be their friend first, coach and player second. Realize that every single player on your roster will make some positive impact in a game at some point during their career. If they don't, then we're doing something wrong. Number 8, coach every single player to the fullest extent, even during mop-up times. If you don't, you're disrespecting the student athletes and losing an opportunity for development. Number 9, concentrate on getting your players better and not always worrying about replacing them. Don't ever, ever, ever wear another college or university piece of apparel again, on or off campus. We got that fixed early. It's disrespectful to the university, to the alumni, the current students, faculty, staff, board, donors, and if anybody had another college or university, they knew that they were out of practice. Number 11, be the most enthusiastic, positive, energetic person on the team in athletics, and always remember that the players will follow your lead only if you do the first 10. Now, first of all, I want to thank all of the hundreds of players that have earned this award for me. Remember, I didn't score 1 goal, make 1 save, or take the ball away from anyone over my 17 years as head coach. Guys, thanks for believing in me, working your tails off each and every time we took the field. We had some highs, we had some lows, and over the years, because of you guys, we had more highs than we had lows. However, I've always said the highs are never as high as the lows are lows. I want to thank everyone. I'm going to save my minutes for Jerry, and I'm going to end my acceptance speech the same way I ended the speech for the 2001 team. I'll take a great lyric from one of the great bands of all time, Queen. You guys have brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it, and I thank you all.